Hi, this is Progressive Shortcakes, and I'm your host, Joe Firestone. The question I wanted to address in this short take is Joe Biden too stubborn to win the presidency? Question mark. From the beginning of his run for the presidency, with all these candidates in the race, Joe Biden seemed intent on running almost as far right as any of the other candidates. There were a few who were further right, like Eric Swalwell, and who's that other guy from Massachusetts? Seth Moulton, I think he was running, wasn't he? But other than those, really, really way out of touch with people, he was about as far out of touch, as you could get. First of all, he insisted on no Medicare for all. He even went as far as to say that if Medicare for all was passed when he was president, he would veto it. Okay. Also, though he did have a climate plan from the start, which was better than some, but a lot worse than many others in the campaign, he still would not endorse the Green New Deal or run on anything similar to the Green New Deal. Okay, even now, where he's said by some to have an ambitious climate program that is further to the left, than what he started with, it's only a $2 billion program over 4 years. It's only $400 billion a year. It's only 2%, of the GDP of the United States devoted to what most people agree is an existential crisis. Last time we had an existential crisis in World War II, we spent almost 50% of GDP on the existential crisis. But no, he's at 2% right now. Okay, and of course there were many other things that he hedged on, like on free college. Of course, he's for doing something to help people through free college. He's for forgiving some student debt. But of course, he doesn't want to be too extreme. Okay. This brings me back to Hillary Clinton. Brings me back to the election of 2016. Okay. What if Hillary Clinton, like only 2 months into the campaign, or maybe right after the convention, if she had announced that she had been persuaded by Bernie Sanders that the best thing to do in the healthcare area was to pass Medicare for all. And what if she had said at that time also that she had also been persuaded by talks with Bernie, and some others, that the investment state dispute settlement clause inside of NAFTA and inside of the TPP, the TISA, and the TTIP trade agreements, that the ISDS clauses and the anti-labor aspects, of those agreements were really a very bad idea, and that she was no longer for the TPP as written. Do you think Trump would have won the election in 2016 then? Hillary Clinton would have won by 15 points. By 15 points. Hillary Clinton was too stubborn to win. It brings to mind an old saying that comes from a play I once read in high school. I forget who wrote it, called She Stoops to Conquer. Hillary Clinton would not stoop to conquer. Too ideologically rigid to stoop to conquer. There's another historical story. Henry IV of France, was a Huguenot. But there was a problem in crowning him the King of France. He was the heir apparent and the most popular guy to become the King of France. But they insisted if he wanted to become the King of France, he had to convert to Catholicism. He was a Huguenot, okay, a Protestant. He had to convert, okay, to Catholicism. So he famously said, he famously consented, and is said to have said, Paris is worth a mass. So he stooped to conquer. But Hillary would not stoop to conquer. And here is Joe Biden. Here is Joe Biden. He cannot run on Bernie's agenda, or even parts of Bernie's agenda. He cannot run on the Green New Deal. He cannot run on Medicare for all. He cannot run on free college. He cannot run on the forgiveness of all student debt. Why not? All of it is feasible. It's all feasible. He won't do it. He's got to hang back. He's got to represent the interests of property over the interests of people. He will not stoop to conquer. He's going to be tough, fiscally responsible. Joe Biden, when a best-selling book in economics right now is talking about the deficit myth and the unimportance of the national debt, and is pointing out that what Joe Biden has been practicing all his career has been faux fiscal responsibility, not real fiscal responsibility, not public spending for public purpose, not deficit spending for public purpose, but fiscal responsibility as measured by what the levels of the debt and the deficit are. Nonsense, pure nonsense. He will not stoop to conquer. He is too stubborn to win the presidency from Donald Trump in a race that is needlessly tightening up. He could sweep Trump aside like a child by emphasizing Trump's terrible performance during the pandemic period compared to other nations. And he could just sweep him aside entirely and completely then by adding all the rest of these great things that people want, that he could give to them. But he's too stubborn to win the presidency. He's just too stubborn. He's going to be proud. He's going to be arrogant. He's going to make it close. He's going to see to it that the Senate still stays blocking him from having a successful presidency. He's going to make it close and maybe jeopardize even control of the House. Come on, Joe. Grow up. Paris is worth a mass. Stoop to conquer. Be pragmatic. Everybody says you're pragmatic. Be pragmatic. Win the presidency. That is pragmatic. Okay, that's it for today. I hope you liked this particular Progressive Short Take, and I will see you soon.